Hey guys, what's up? Happy New Year. Yes, I am doing this live. It is basically 2:33 in the morning. About 20 minutes ago, they just wrapped up the Dick Clark's New Year's Rocking Eve, New Year's Rocking Party, if you will, the LA portion that was broadcast about, like I said, 20 minutes ago. And around here, let's just say some people still kind of celebrating just because, just moments before I went live here, somebody let off another boom, another M80 or whatever it's called, a firework, whatever. And they were letting them off, all over the place, where we are and where my sisters live and all that, and Patterson and Modesto. So they were starting to shoot them off there. Me, on the other hand, me and my mom, we had the option. We could have stayed at my older sisters and celebrate with them, but she wanted to get home, beat the traffic, and everything, and still be able to celebrate New Year's, you know, stuff like that. Um, Also, I think because of the fact that she's getting at that age now where, as I just adjust the camera a little bit there, she's getting at that age now, basically, where she doesn't want to be out too late when it comes to parties like this or celebrations like this, if you will. But anyway, though, um, yeah, what a be, you know, you what a beginning, if you will. I mean, it feels like 2021 just came and went, and I think for a lot of us, whether we were working or not working, I think a lot of us were wanting this year to pretty much, come to an end, if you will, as quickly as possible because, we just wanted to get into a new year. Because when we look at 2021, we look back on it, um, a lot of us, still felt the ramifications of the whole COVID situation in 2020. And ironically, during this holiday season, it started to ramp up again with the Omicron variant and everything. Even to the point that me and my sisters were wondering what was going on with my dad, and I find out on Christmas that oh, by the way, he's in the hospital because of COVID. And it was something that he called BS on, and now he's realized, well, it's not really BS, and I got to take this seriously. Thankfully he's back. Thankfully now he's back home, and hopefully he'll keep up to date with getting his second shot and his booster so that he could be fully vaccinated. Um, and when I look back at 2021, you know, like I said in one video that I recorded several weeks ago that premiered this week or this past week, um, COVID, the situation with it's been back and forth. I mean, it's like on one hand everything looks okay, then on the other hand it doesn't, and it's just like you don't know, what's going to be announced yet. What's going to be the next announcement when it comes to COVID and everything. And what's funny is a lot of people will listen to what the news is saying, and a lot of people will hear the fact that South Africa is now getting out of the Omicron phase, and things are looking up and being better, and they're projecting that 2022 we should be out of this. And in reality, what people will look at, and I've pointed this out myself, is this is nothing more than just the media and the CDC and all of them basically taking, what could be looked at, and many people have said this, as just severe flu cases that cause hospitalizations or severe cold cases that require hospitalizations, And instead of acknowledging them as such, that they're lumping them in as being COVID, and they're using those cases to build up the number of COVID cases around, just so they can basically intimidate those that don't want to get vaccinated into doing so. So it's one of those situations to where it's kind of back and forth, and you didn't know what to believe. But now, like I said, with word going out that, South Africa, and ironically on the last day of the year, South Africa is looking up, they're looking better. Oh, we're projecting 2022 for the year the state U.S. is going to get out of this situation along with other parts of the world, and people will look at that and be like, see the timing. See the timing? We're getting out of the holiday season, and now all of a sudden things are getting better or will get better. I wonder why. And I don't totally disagree with them. I really don't. I don't totally disagree with them because of the fact that, and this is coming from someone that has gotten his 2 initial vaccine shots and then his booster recently. The vaccine shots were back in the spring. The booster was recently, about a week ago. So, excuse me there. But I intend to agree with them because it's like, you know, it's just, to me, it's just really simple. It's just a really simple situation. You know, Basically that in that simple situation is, just letting people know, hey, we're entering a flu season, a season where you know the common cold and the common flu becomes more lethal and more stronger and will cause hospitalizations, and you know and just like with those diseases, COVID could be strengthened immensely. So we recommend before going into this winter season that you get the vaccine, and that's all they had to do. They didn't have to make things worse, worse than what they were. And I think that's what really pisses a lot of people off. And I look at it this way. I look at it this way. You know, are we going to be out of the COVID situation by spring of 2022? I think mostly we will be, because what I look at is, even though people may not, believe the number of COVID cases, or the number, being up of hospitalizations, or believe a word that's coming out of the media's mouth, or the CDC's mouth, or the local federal government's mouth when it comes to this situation. I will say this, you know, as I mentioned before in the video, you got OSHA now bearing down and saying, hey, starting at this time frame in this month, and but basically what I'm saying is that you have OSHA coming out and stating that in 9 days, between January 10th and February 9th, that a lot of places are going to have to start mandating, their employees of 100 or more so people to get vaccinated or subject themselves to weekly testing, or else face a citation. And as I've said before, to me, the citation thing for companies with 100 or more employees, that to me is just the beginning. That's just the beginning, because I believe the next step is going to be fines. I think I think state and regional governments within the states, or local governments within the states, are going to, and if not federally, if you will, are going to start issuing fines. They're going to say something along the lines of, and this is just my opinion, but I feel this is where we're going, that they're going to say, hey, you got to the end of so and so month, to get yourself at least one vaccination shot, or else you and your family will be fined for that month. In other words, for each day you don't go out and get the vaccine, at least one shot of it for you and your family, at the end of the month, we're going to total up those days, and that's how much you're going to get fined. Or that's going to help, equal up to what you're going to get fined for. Because, if basically, OSHA coming out and saying, hey, this needs to be done, or else the company your people work for is going to get cited and maybe shut down. That's not going to, get them to do this, even if they don't want to. Then hitting them where they don't want to be hit the most, which is, of course, the wallets, that might be a last resort. And I know they don't want to do that, but that might be the thing that happens. So yeah, when I look into this new year of 2022, I look at the fact that I do believe by spring we should be out of it, mostly because I think this OSHA thing will work to an extent. But if I was to look at the fact of how we'll fully be out of it, then I would say by the summer, 4th of July of this year, we should be fully out of it, because I think by that time frame, not only will OSHA, and this thing's supposed to go for 6 months, in total, not only will OSHA's thing kind of start seeing the results they want to see out of it, but like I said, I think the whole fine thing is going to come into play too from local and federal governments. And like I said, those fines are going to equal up and be total at the end of each month for every day of said month that, a family or an individual doesn't get themselves vaccinated at least once. That's what I think is going to happen, potentially, hopefully not. But if it does, that I could see that leading us into July, around that time frame of when we'll finally be cured, or at least in a better place than what we are currently with this whole COVID situation. And I think a lot of people that listen to what I have to say and others have to say about the situation, and hear us bring up possible solutions like this that may happen, I think honestly they know that they know the anti-vaxxers, if you will, as they're known to be called. They know that their time's up. They know their time is running out, to where they're going to have no choice but to have to roll up the sleeve and be like, okay, fine, I may not be for this, but I have no other choice, because financially I don't want my wallet to get any thinner than it should. And all of a sudden it's going to be boom, just like that. And that's it. But, the biggest question a lot of people have always had is, why are the anti-vaxxers, as they're known, so against it? Well, the thing is, it's because, in a sense, they feel like the country has gotten to a point of 65% to 70% of the people fully vaccinated, if not boosted. That now the vaccination for the Moderna, the Pfizer, and the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccines should be more of a choice and not a mandate, or a recommendation. They feel it should be a choice and just leave it at that. But, but the thing is, what they don't realize is, to make it a choice, we got to at least get to, in my opinion, the 75% to 80% number range for potentially that to be considered. And the only way we're going to get there is for some anti-vaxxers to just swallow the pride and say, okay, fine, I'll take one shot and see what happens, and just go from there. I mean, my brother-in-law, the husband of my second oldest sister, he had to get tested, and basically he's waiting for the results. And if the results come back negative, then obviously he's very immune to not getting the disease. But if they come back positive, then he's going to have no choice but to either quarantine himself for 2 weeks, or he's going to have to just get the shot. That's what's going to happen. I mean, again, like I said, my dad, he felt the same way. He's like, oh, I'm not going to deal with this kind of stuff. It's not going to affect me. And all of a sudden, here he is, just out of the hospital, because of it. And he recently got his first shot, and he's learning, okay, maybe there is something to this, and that's that. But to me, I honestly look at the fact that, like I said, 2022, I would say by the summer, hopefully this time around, we will be fully out of this, to a point that we won't have to worry about mask wearing or anything like that anymore. I really do. I mean, spring we should be at that decent number to where, again, they'll probably say it's recommended, or they might come out and say, hey, we're at a number now to where you could choose whether or not you want to get it because we have enough people vaccinated and boosted. We'll see. But it's been one of those crazy years, one of those crazy years. In 2022 is projected to be the year where a lot of things get better, that a lot of things get back on track. I mean, Warner Brothers is supposedly going to do away with the simul release of their movies in both theaters and on HBO Max by at least, I would say, May, with the Batman potentially being the final one that gets that treatment. Even though the news going around is the Batman movie will come out basically about a month after it's been released in theaters onto HBO Max, but we'll see. We'll see. But apparently, like I said, things are supposed to slowly get back to full-on normalness when it's all said and done. My finger just hit the mic there. I do apologize. Full-on normalness throughout the year. My finger hit the mic there again. I do apologize. But again, it's just one of those. It's just one of the. But again, when I look at 2021 and as we head into 2022, it just feels like it's going to be one of those years where things will be better than what they were. And when you really think about it, it's going to be a year of reluctantness. And like I said, it's going to be a year of reluctantness when it comes to the anti-vaxxers. And as well as other things as well that people are against. I think it's going to be a year of reluctantness when it comes to the SJWs and the council culture people. They're going to have to, I got a feeling it's going to be a year to where they're going to have to swallow their pride and be like, okay, fine. We may not agree with this and that, but if that's what they want to do because they feel it's going to work, fine. And I feel that 2022 is going to be the year where, again, they start to bend a little bit and realize, hey, you may have your opinion, but your opinion shouldn't have an effect on other people's enjoyment of things. So I think it's going to be a year for them to, like I said, finally bend a little bit and let things be as they should be. But overall, I'll say this about 2021. It's going to be one of those years that, it's going to be looked at as the transitional year. That we started to, and what I mean by transitional year, I'm talking about the fact that it's going to be known as the year where we started to transition out of the situation that we were in the year prior and going into the new year, transition back to hopefully, normal livelihood that we're known for. I mean, tonight's or yesterday's, I should say, last night's, Rockin' Eve celebration in, Times Square was, reduced to 25% of what it was, but obviously that 25% grew because there were more people there than normal. I mean, even Ryan Seacrest said that they had opened the gates for more people to show up. And New York City obviously now has a new mayor. And I'm thinking because his term began, around that time frame, or at least was getting ready to begin, he had some say to say, hey, look, let's add a little bit more people into this situation because this this doesn't make us look good. So I think honestly, him being the new mayor and him taking over, that one of his first rules was, even before he was sworn in, hey, let's let these people have fun. Let's let them do their thing and go from there. If you know what I mean. But yeah, I look at the fact it's going to be a transitional year because next year's New Year's Rockin' Eve is going to be back to what it should be. Hopefully. But um, but the thing is, that's up to people that want us to get there. They want us. That if they want us to get there, they have to work with everybody else. They can't just be, you know, fearful of the shot because they think, ooh, something's in there that's going to cause the government to trace us, or they can't let their anger because the former president is no longer in power, cloud their judgment. So to me, I think like next year's Rockin' Eve is going to be a lot better than it was this year. Although I think a lot of us pretty much knew that 15,000 requirement for people that wanted to be there pretty much blew up in their face. We could see that. We could all see that, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting. It's gonna be an interesting 2022. It really is because I'm potentially on the verge of hopefully getting a new job thanks to my sister. And speaking of that being my older sister. Speaking of which, it looks like I along with her, may have to, along with anybody else that wants to go, either my niece or my second older sister, may have to fly back out to Kansas to see what the heck is going on with my dad and his girlfriend, as he calls her, and try to figure out, okay, what's going on here? Why are you trying to distance yourself from us when we want to connect with you because you have family here, you have grandchildren here, um, to get to know. It's it's something that may or may not happen, but we're not sure yet. We're not really sure yet. Um, but besides that, I'm just gonna leave it to the Lord above and see what he has in store for us for 2022, and just go from there. I mean, one of my goals, honestly, is to get a PS5. That's one of my goals, to get a PS5 and an Xbox One, an Xbox Series X. That's my goal. And for something to have for myself, something to treat myself to, and hopefully we get that this year. Hopefully myself and others get that opportunity this year. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here before I lay down, and I just wanted to do this live stream for you guys, and just wish you all a happy new year. Thank you for the support that you've given my channel throughout its first um, 13 years. It's going to be 14 years this year, believe it or not, and then it's going to be 15 in 2023. So that's going to be something to look forward to. But I really thank you guys for your support there, and let's here's a toast, if you will, to 2022, and hopefully in 2022 this channel will get bigger and everything, and maybe I'll get a little closer to the silver award, because right now I'm at 11,000 subscribers, or 11,000 and a half subscribers. So hopefully I can get to 25,000 by year's end, because the closer you get, the the more basically the higher your number of subscribers that you get, the closer you get to that moment that you've been wanting to get to, and that's the silver award. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, I want to just thank you guys for supporting me over the past year, especially with the fact that I've been out of work. Hopefully you'll continue to support me throughout the year, whether I'm working or not. I'd really appreciate it. So till next time, guys, hopefully you've had a safe and happy new year. Hopefully you didn't get too wild and crazy. And that's really all I'm going to say. So guys, I'm falling asleep here. You can tell. Um, like I said, just wanted to come out here and wish you all a happy new year and thank you for the support. If you want to check out the rest of my content, I do have a Teespring store. If you want to look into that for some merchandise, I still have to add some more later on. I have a Patreon. If you want to help support there, I'm doing the $1 and $3 tiers. I might be considering adding a $5 tier, which could be a Q&A. So that might be something you want to keep an eye out for. That's patreon.com at BWRosas, that is. I also have a podcast, which is BW Rosas Discussions, which originated at anchor.fm. And you can find it at various podcast locations except for Pandora. I am close to 300 podcasts on that. And if you do listen to the podcast through anchor.fm, listener support is activated if you want to help support me on that. And also the fact that I'm also able to upload video versions of the podcast. So if you want to listen to, an on-camera version instead of an audio version, you'll have that opportunity through various affiliates like Spotify and Anchor and Apple and and all the iTunes, that is. So yeah, check me out there, BWR's Discussions. It would really help in that department. Check me out also at VENMO at BW Rosas. That's my video channel at VENMO because, in case the content gets blocked here, you can find it there. And check me out at VENMO. It'd be at Brian-Walmer-2. Until next time, guys, I just wanted to come on here and wish you all a happy new year. Take care. God bless. Again, thank you for the support in this past year. It really helps out. And hopefully you will support me more so this year and let people know about the channel, because this channel is full of variety and there might be something here for them to enjoy as well. So until next time, guys, I'm falling asleep here. I got to get to bed. Let me know but again, thank you for the support. Comment below. Thank you for tuning in live during this late night live chat. I really appreciate it. And I will talk to y'all later, guys. I am tired and everything, and I will see you all later. Peace out. God bless. Take care. And, again, I hope you all had a healthy and safe, happy new year and didn't get too crazy. So I'll talk to you next time, guys. Peace.